When it comes to generating power after the shotgun has been fired and the shotgun is all out of ammo, there's not many options left. The shotgun is a pump-action 12-gauge, and this thing cycles through shells like nobody's business. It's good for home defense, but what else can you do with it? Well, not much when you run out of ammo. That's why today, we gonna be talking about how you can generate electricity without any gas, diesel, or gasoline, and no moving parts, because we're going to be using solar energy, and I'm here to help you survive the coming collapse. Let's jump right into it. Now, there's several different ways that you can go about doing this, but I want to start off by saying if you have an old-school 12-volt battery laying around, this is going to be the best way for you to get some juice generated and store it up, so you can use it later for your electronics. Maybe something like a radio, lights, things like that. So, this is a big car battery. You can probably pick one of these up at your local scrapyard for pretty cheap, especially if you're willing to refurbish it. What you need to do though, is go ahead and hook up a solar panel to it. Now, you can buy pre-made kits like this online. They'll ship it to your house. You put it together. But there's also an option available for those of you who are a little bit more advanced or handy around the house. And that's just to make your own. And the reason why you want to do it this way is because you can regulate the amount of current that goes into the battery. This is very important because if you overcharge a battery, you're going to cook it and it's not going to last as long. If you keep doing it, eventually it'll overheat and it could even explode or cause a fire. So, regulating the current that goes into the battery is really, really important. The way you do that is by using a charge controller and a shunt. Now, this is going to be a little bit confusing to some of you, I know, but trust me, I'm going to try to walk you through this step by step. So, you have the solar panel here. The solar panel generates direct current, which is unfiltered. It's not clean. We need to filter it before it goes into the battery. After it's filtered, then we need to regulate it so it doesn't overcharge the battery. And that's where these two components come in. These are both located inside of this box here. This is the charge controller. So, you've got your solar panel, you plug it into the charge controller, then from the charge controller, you're going to run a wire to your battery. Now, there's other ways to do this, but if you wanted to go with a smaller scale setup, like say you didn't have a 12-volt battery, you could just jump straight from the solar panel to your device. But that is not the best idea because you're going to fry whatever it is that you're trying to power. If you don't regulate that current, it'll just send too much power to it and burn it up. So, always try to regulate your power before you send it to whatever it is that you're trying to power. In this case, it's my lights. Okay, my lights right here. I've got a 110-volt socket taped to the wall. That's hooked up to a modified sine wave inverter. Now, this is essentially just another battery, okay? It takes the power from the solar panel and stores it in here so I can draw from it. I can use it to power devices. So, for example, let's say I wanted to run a radio. Let's say I wanted to run a small light bulb. I could plug it straight into this and power it. But I don't recommend doing that, because if your solar panel isn't getting enough sunlight, you're going to drain the battery and then your device is going to stop working. So, it's always best to run your device from a battery. Even if you're hooking up a solar panel directly to your device, it's best to run it through a battery. Now, this is just a small little battery, okay? This is only going to give me maybe 30 minutes of power, but it's better than nothing, right? It's going to get me through the night if I need it to. So, I'm going to show you how to make one of these. Now, the materials are going to vary based on what kind of solar panel you have, okay? If you have a small solar panel, you're going to have less voltage, and therefore you're going to have less current. So, you're not going to need as large of a battery. If you have a larger solar panel, you gonna have more voltage, and therefore you gonna have more current, and you gonna need a bigger battery. Now, this is a 10-watt solar panel. This came out of a calculator kit. It was only like 30 bucks, okay? And I am gonna show you how you can make your own charge controller using a 555 timer and a transistor. Now, this is going to be a little bit more advanced, but it's gonna be worth it because you gonna have a regulated source of power. Now, these are all the parts that you're going to need. You're going to need a 555 timer, you're going to need a transistor, you're going to need a couple resistors, you're going to need a potentiometer, a breadboard, some jumper wires, and a 9-volt battery. Alright, so first things first, let's connect our solar panel to the breadboard. We gonna take the positive side and we gonna hook it to the positive side of the then we gonna take the negative side of the potentiometer and connect that to the negative side of the solar panel. Okay. So this is gonna give us a variable resistor that we can use to regulate the current that's flowing through the circuit. Next, we're going to hook up the 555 timer. So, we're going to hook up pin 1 to ground, pin 8 to positive 12 volts. Pin 6 is our PWM signal, which is going to be connected to the base of the transistor. Okay, so this is what's going to control the amount of current that's flowing through the circuit. Next, we gonna hook up a 10 kOhm resistor between pin 3 and 4. Then we gonna hook up another 10 kOhm resistor between pin 7 and ground. Then we're gonna hook up the positive side of the 9-volt battery to pin 5. then the negative side of the 9-volt battery to pin 2. Now this is backwards, but I did that on purpose, to drop the voltage down. I need a 5-volt signal. Okay, so that's why I hooked it up backwards to drop it down to 5 volts. Now, we're gonna hook up the emitter of the transistor to the negative side of the battery, which is also the positive side of the solar panel. Then we gonna hook up the collector of the transistor to the positive side of the battery, which is also the negative side of the solar panel. Okay? So now we've got our circuit hooked up. We should be able to regulate the current that's flowing through the circuit using the So, let's go ahead and test it out. Okay, so I've got my multimeter hooked up to the circuit, and I'm getting 4.94 volts, which is perfect. Now, I've got my solar panel hooked up to a light bulb and it's starting to get bright. Okay? So now we've got our circuit working. We can regulate the amount of current that's flowing through the circuit. This means that we can protect our battery from overcharging. Now, this is just a basic tutorial on how to make a solar panel power your lights. You can use the same principle to power other devices. You just have to figure out what kind of voltage they need, and then adjust the potentiometer accordingly. Okay, this is just a basic tutorial, but there's a lot of other applications that you can use this for. If you like this video, leave a like. Share this video with someone who needs it. Share this video with someone who might be interested in learning how to do this. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to Livuga. I've got a lot of videos coming out. I need your help to spread the word and get people prepared. Alright, stay safe. Stay ready, stay vigilant. Don't be scared. Be prepared. As always, thank you guys so much for watching.